Here are some things.
All right, and welcome Some Things Podcast listeners. Here we are at episode 18, where we are going to discuss, fun Thanksgiving stories, men being the root of all evil, and also track and field updates. And we'll get more clarification on that later when we get to our sports segment. However, folks, this is a very interesting episode because last week, or a few weeks back, I was not here, and my co-host Jon and Luke were here to fill in for you guys, give you a fun random episode. However, I'm kind of riding solo as far as the main three. But I am not alone. I'm joined today with my other co-host,
Sarah.
And you may know her from previous episodes. But we also have another special guest for you today. My third co-host is
The John Wiseman.
Ayo.
AKA the other John.
Yes, the other John. So
or just the wise
we do
man.
still. Aha, yes. We do still have a John with us today, and a very sexy John at that.
I wasn't expecting him on until after Christmas.
No? Oh. Well, I told John, since we were going to be doing the Thanksgiving episode, I knew, okay, we need to have him on because the Cowboys always play Thanksgiving. So that's going to be a great topic for the sports segment.
Did you get my joke?
Yeah, I took the wrong
I wasn't
star. I
expecting
got
him
here a
until
little
after
early.
Christmas.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Okay, now I get it. I'm just so oblivious. I got a lot on my plate right now. I got to work tech. I got to work topics. I got to work the soundboard.
Yeah, Luke usually works the tech, so Dylan's
Luke
work today.
Luke is a very beautiful man. He's a very smart man, and John's always here for the lovable, what his fun commentary on the sports. So again, they will be missed. We love you guys. Hope you're both safe. I know Luke had work, and then John was coming down from the mountains. I guess him and some friends went up there after the recent snow we had, so they should be having fun. But so I'll just start off just with the whole basic. How are you guys' week's been?
Oh man, kind of a relief.
Okay.
Last time I was on here, I was in the middle of my biggest project of the year at work.
Right.
The 200-page catalog.
Oy.
And we sent it to print, and we approved it for print with our printing facility. And so it's supposed to be printing and shipping tomorrow.
Awesome.
So I'm so excited that is off my plate, and now I'm on to the next catalog.
Woohoo!
No break.
Yeah, so now what, you're covering Easter, right? That's what you're going
we're working
into?
on Easter right now. I work for a church supply company, online retail, and we release catalogs every season.
Right.
And so back in May, June, July, I was working on Christmas, and now that we're heading towards Christmas, I'm working on Easter.
Woohoo!
So
The other fun Christian holiday.
Yep.
All right. Well, how about you, John? What's been going on in your world?
I just been getting ready for the finals, because finals school's coming to an end
Right.
finally and everything like that. So just getting ready. But it seems like every Monday I have a test. It's always Monday. Could they not pick another day besides just Monday? This is the reason why everyone hates Mondays.
Yeah, exactly. I was about to say, it's
land
like
something horrible on the day. Oh, here. Let's give you something to hate. Monday
to
more
really
about.
hate it. It's just like people already hate Mondays enough. It's like don't add fuel to the flame. It's terrible.
Exactly.
But you don't do things with your weekends, right? Like you have all that time to just study.
Oh yeah, right.
I think they're doing you a favor.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, who in college has a life?
Yeah, it has its ups and downs. I mean, we're learning. If anybody doesn't know, I'm doing HVAC and refrigeration tech. So the one that we just went over test-wise is that we had to go over the basically air conditioning and troubleshooting.
Oh boy.
He slammed that down our throats in a matter of a week, and that's just 18 pages in one section. So there's multiple. We did 2 sections in that week alone. I was just like, so you want me to memorize all this? Nah, bro, can't do that.
It's like I can just have the manual with me when I'm repairing, right?
Exactly.
Do they ever just sit you down in front of a broken fridge? Is that ever
No, they actually do. What they have is they have an air conditioning, and they have 4 problems switches. So you have to troubleshoot them. So you got to flip one switch, and that cuts off whatever the problem is. One of them we just worked on was a bad board. So they cut the power to the board, so you had to figure out what the problem was.
Gotcha.
So that's usually basically what they do.
All right. It's very interesting. We're getting a lot of insight here for the refrigeration world. But, John, you also have another Instagram account, correct, of your just sexy fitness modeling? I got to put you on the spot, man. Being one of those glamour models. But, ladies and gentlemen, he is very sexy, if you don't already know.
Well, they will now because you're going to go follow him on Instagram.
Yeah, they will. Well, what's that Instagram handle?
Well, the Instagram is Wise Fitness.
Wise Fitness.
What it is basically is to not only to encourage people to lift weights or even fitness wise to get fit to the our body is a temple.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the thing, that we got to treat it as this is the body of Christ. Basically, what you want to do is stay healthy.
Right.
Not only do you want to stay healthy, but you got to look at your family, for example. You know, we only live once, and we want to live for a long period of time. You know, our world, I would get on this last one topic we're about, our world is getting to a point that no one wants to live in it, really.
Okay.
But you want to stay around with your family, so you want to spend time with them and everything like that. So how do you do that? Stay healthy and stay fit. Encouragement and things like that. You know, my dad's lost so much weight, and it's amazing. You know, he's gotten, I would probably assume from he was now probably in his 20% body fat.
Dang.
That, I've never seen him for my 25 years, so it's pretty daggum good.
Yeah, even when you were a baby, you don't remember him being that skinny.
No, not at all. But you know,
well, they've both bulked up over the years.
Oh, of course,
yeah,
of course.
you know, of course, you know, it took a while for someone.
He was
like
pretty
me,
squishy 25 years ago.
But no, yeah, so that's what it is, and it's more of an encouragement too as Paige. So it's not just for anybody and everything like that. I have little Isaiah that I was training for a while, you know, before school started, because you know, school got me sidetracked in with work and everything like that. And hopefully, with the winter comes around, I'll pick him up right back at it, and we'll get back to the gym, you know. And little Isaiah, junior high, you know, he wants to get it, into it. So you know, I was like, okay, that's cool. I have a bunch of other people who are like, hey, I want tips. You know, I have a guy from work. You know, he's a security guard. And he's all like, dude, how can I?
I want to bulk up.
How can I bulk up and lose fat at the same time? Well, you know, eating is the most important thing.
Of course, yeah.
That covers at least 75% of your body workouts.
Right.
This is such a great way to kick off our Thanksgiving episode.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, but yeah, so this will be our Thanksgiving episode for those of you that don't know or don't already realize this. But yeah, so we will release this Monday. We're recording Sunday, and yeah, hopefully you guys are all having a happy Thanksgiving. Maybe you're listening to it on Thanksgiving. You know, it'll be a fun way for the family to come together and you know, gorge on food and hear about fitness at the same time.
Exactly.
It's like we're judging you. No. But yeah, so yeah, that all sounds good. I know I was talking to Sarah about it. I'll probably need some accountability heading into the future here. My goal is I still want to get down to at least 180 by like Christmas time, and I'm still at like the 195 area. So I got to get back on the workout routine, because I come home from work after, you know, 8-9 hours. Since we're back on overtime, I'm just like, I'm exhausted again. But yeah, so yeah, maybe I'll hit you up later. You know, some of your sexy tips.
That's fine.
But yeah, so my week, it's been a little rough back and forth. I've had some other family issues to deal with, but then one fun note was me and Sarah. We have annual passes to Knott's Berry Farm, and so this last Thursday we were actually able to go to the grand opening of Knott's Berry Farm. So that was really fun. We got to try like 3 or 4 different seasonal food items.
Dude, Knott's Berry Farm always comes out with delicious food during these seasonal things.
They really do.
Like their Boysenberry Festival is one thing, but they had like so many other good things here at the Christmas time.
Yeah, so John, they had this sandwich. It was a wild boar sausage with like, oh yeah, and I think it had there was like some kind of gravy or sauce on it.
Yeah, they put like caramelized onions and mustard
caramelized
on it.
onions, like some kind of weird,
But it was like
not
an
weird
apricot
mustard,
cranberry sausage.
there we go.
Yeah.
That's what it was, apricot cranberry. So that tasted really good. They also had these. They call them turkey bites, but dude, they look like giant fist size of like just turkey meat.
It was like the size of one of those popcorn balls you get on Halloween.
Yeah, and so for only like $6-7, you get these turkey bites that are like the size of your fist, and they're just covered in gravy, and it's like turkey meat rolled around in stuffing, and then like cranberries in there. It was like basically a Thanksgiving meal in a ball.
I'm definitely glad we talk about this after our fitness.
Yeah, exactly.
And then like you said, it was deep fried and topped with gravy.
Okay,
it was amazing.
I will eat that. I don't care about fitness. I will eat that.
Hey, everyone can get a cheat meal a week, right? You know, that's what you got to use it for. But yeah, and then again, we always watch the Snoopy on Ice that they have, or is it?
It's such a great show. Merry Christmas, Snoopy.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
It's an
Snoopy.
ice skating show that they have at the at their theater.
Yeah, I know that this year that my family got the Knott's Berry Farm passes, so we're
Such a
working
good investment.
on trying to go to the Merry Christmas one.
Yeah,
so.
like Merry Farm, it's definitely going to get busy. But since you guys did buy the annual passes, what we got to plan for is next year when they do have the seasonal pass holder, like I said, grand opening for Merry Farm. You guys got to reserve your tickets and get in, because the rides are literally like walk-ons. You just get to go straight to the roller coaster.
We're walking onto everything. We had like a full day at Knott's in 4 hours.
Yeah,
dang.
It's really worth it. So yeah, that's something to look forward to. But yeah. So Sarah, since you're here, we're actually celebrating your birthday today.
Yes, this is the beginning of my birthday week.
It is, yeah, because
my birthday's on November 30th.
But again, she had some fun dessert. We had chicken Alfredo for lunch.
Yeah, today was the day that we got together with my family, and Mom cooked everybody lunch. Mm-hmm. So I picked my favorite meal, which is chicken Alfredo.
Yay!
And we had chocolate cheesecake for dessert.
Nice.
So more food right after the fitness talk. It's fantastic.
Yeah. oh my gosh. Okay, so I completely forgot. I spaced on this. Okay, so while we were at Knott's Berry Farm, I added a couple topics. Wow, I can't even talk today. Topics for us to go over with okay, two things: theater etiquette. And I'll just start there because we just talked about watching the theater show at Snoopy's Knott's Merry Farm, and before the show they come on, the announcers and the speakers and everything. They say like, hey, please during the show no flash photography, no recording of any kind. Again, this is like it's their private property, it's their entertainment,
Copyrighted music,
music and everything else. So they legally can't allow that. And sure enough, there's always like 10 people in each section that are just like, it's like, again, they shut the lights off and you can still see their video camera light recording the whole show. It's like, are you that stupid? Like, they're going to come find you. It's like, you're not supposed to do this. Like, they're asking you nicely. Like, why can't you just respect the theater?
Well, and also, this person's in the front row, but they're watching the show through the rectangle. Like,
yeah, it's like live
you're
entertainment.
Cheating yourself at that point.
Yeah, live entertainment's right in front of you. It's like, why are you going to bother looking at it through a camera? It's like the same people when people go to concerts and it's like, oh, I'm going to record this for later. Yeah. It's like, just enjoy it now.
You're never going to watch it, and it's not going to sound good.
And you post it on Instagram or Facebook, it's like, what? What are
I'm
they
watching
saying?
that.
Yeah,
I'm watching that on silent, just so anybody knows. Like, I never use my audio on Instagram.
Yeah, because then it just becomes like, you're sitting there and like, and when you're recording it, you just think, oh man, it was such an awesome concert. But then everyone watches the clip afterward, just like they can't hear anything. It's
exactly.
Just, like, what do you expect is going to happen from that? But so the other weird thing while we were at Knott's Merry Farm is as we're leaving the park, it's like things are starting to wind down. Me and Sarah get behind this like odd grouping of friends. There was like 3 kids. There's 1 guy and 2 girls. And this girl just starts out loud saying like, yeah, I'll motorboat anyone. I'll motorboat my sister. I'll motorboat my brother. I'll motorboat like grandma. Like, I'm just sitting there like, okay, 1, kids are around, 2. It's like, what kind of life are you living that you're motorboating everyone you know? What? Who does this?
Maybe it's more innocent than it sounds, and she owned an actual motorboat and was giving people rides.
I hope that's the case, because if not, I hope she motorboats the back end of an actual boat. Like, it's like, what the heck? Like, what? Oh my gosh. Like, so I don't know. Have you guys ever had any other weird experiences in a park like that where you just overhear someone's weird random conversation and you're just trying to piece it together? Like, what could they have possibly been talking about?
You remember that lady that went into extreme detail about like her labor?
Oh, okay. This is also at Knott's.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're just in line and she's going into all this detail about like her labor and delivering her son. She's talking to like a 10-year-old, by the way.
Yeah, it's a group of 10-year-olds with her, and this girl's talking about pregnancy dilemmas and problems. Like,
it's okay. They're teaching that in their
how,
age
like,
anyway in school, so we're okay.
She's like talking about how they had to like cut her open and like.
Yeah, just things coming out that shouldn't have, just all kinds of like graphic detail.
It was a very difficult labor, from what I gathered.
I know the one that was at Disneyland.
Okay.
There was Casey Medina, Alyssa Warren, myself, and my sister.
Shout out.
Yes, shout out. We were on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, so
nice.
the first drop,
right.
We're going down, and we were sitting in the back, and we hear in the front row, all of a sudden we hear, my nipples! And we're like, what just happened? I'm like, we're on the Pirates of the Caribbean, good lord! I'm like, okay, this is dark in the middle of everything. I'm just like, okay. So now it's a joke. Every time we go to Disneyland, all the time,
nipples.
Yeah, we just make that joke all the time. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. It's like, because that ride doesn't really have any restrictions. You don't have a seatbelt, no lap bar. It's just
just think it was the cold water, maybe. I'm hoping that was the case. I really pray that was it.
But anyway, yeah, I don't really have a transition for this one. I'll just be quite honest. Since this is our Thanksgiving episode, and we were talking about the Thanksgiving-themed food at Knott's Berry Farm, what are some fun Thanksgiving stories you guys have? Maybe it was like a family hangout, friend hangout, anything that comes to mind. I know for us, the one story that I kept thinking of was the time, Sarah, your brother, broke his hand at a...
What?
You don't remember that? Or maybe it wasn't his hand. He broke something, though, when we went to Adrian's house for Thanksgiving, when he was riding the ATVs.
Oh, that wasn't Thanksgiving. I think that was like sometime between Thanksgiving and Christmas or something. But
okay.
Yeah, we had Thanksgiving at my aunt's house, and I guess the conversation came up that they're like, oh, yeah, we got these ATVs. We can ride them around in our massive yard anytime. And they live in like the high desert area.
Okay.
So, lots of Joshua trees.
It was a nice house, by the way.
Yeah. But so I guess like several weeks after that, they go down with Peter to just ride around like these ATVs, and Peter lost control at one point and ran like straight into a Joshua tree.
Yeah, and it was like literally just desert everywhere. It's like kind of that clip from Men Who Stare at Goats. It's like you literally had the whole desert.
He didn't break anything, but he did have to go to the ER just to check him out. So
okay. I thought something did.
I'm the only one that's only broken anything in my family out of all my siblings.
I haven't broken anything. You
knock on wood.
No, I knock on our table. I just don't want to.
I broke my arm when I was in middle school, but that was it.
Yeah,
Right.
no, I haven't broken any bones again, knock on wood. My
Right.
sister's the only one. Surprising enough for me being a football player, I haven't.
Yeah.
I
I've
did
separated
break my arm
shoulder,
at the
but-
family Christmas, though.
Oh, okay, but we're not talking about Christmas. You
I
gotta say
know.
that. You gotta say that
Yeah,
for
I'll
the
save
Christmas
it for
episode.
Christmas,
Yeah.
but I did break my arm at a family holiday gathering.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. It's like it's so funny because it's like I know my family. It's like again, I love them to death, and I know they're crazy. They're chaotic. I mean, a lot of times when we get together, there could be like little, just like again, like most families do. At least I assume my family was always like this. We have our spits and spats, during different gatherings. But for the life of me, I like I said, I thought that was the one Thanksgiving story I'd have, and now I can't recall anything with my family, like any kind of crazy blow-ups. I don't think we ever had a food fight, but it is. I will say this. I guess it's not necessarily a crazy story, but it is always nice when we go into like San Pedro, which we're planning on to this year.
Yay.
We get to sit down with my mom's side of the family, and just everyone comes together, and it is a really nice thing. It's like my family's really into football, so I get to sit down, and watch the games with them, get to have delicious food that's always prepared well. So shout out to whoever hosts, whether it's at my grandma's house or I think this year it's going to be my Aunt Jim and Melissa. So shout out to you guys. But yeah,
I will say, our family has never gotten into a heated argument in the traditional sense.
Okay.
But there was last year where we got into a pretty serious debate about the pronunciation of WH. This is an ongoing family argument.
Is this like the Family Guy Cool Whip thing?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's all I was thinking.
Like,
Whip.
Cool whip.
think of weather and weather. So the family ended up being pretty split as to whether there was a difference or not between those two sounds.
Okay.
The W versus the WH. Half the family was insistent that it was just W, like just a W sound. And the other half was very insistent that it is a separate sound and that sound is wha.
Well, Heather.
I hate English.
It's
I
so
blame,
back and
I blame
forth.
English.
So-
This is the reason why people who speak Spanish and German and all of us hate the English.
Yeah, anyone who tries to like learn English as their second language always has the hardest time doing it.
I
'cause
realized
it's
that as
just-
soon as I started taking Spanish in high school, I'm just like, this is easy.
Yeah.
I feel so bad
I'm
for
just
anyone
gonna
trying to
stick
learn
with
English.
sign
Yeah,
That's
sign
what
language.
That's what I'll learn. No one needs to talk.
Yeah, we'll just pat each other on the back, give handshakes, whatever. Yeah, with your little word pronunciation, I'll shout out to Rooster Teeth for this one. And their Red versus Blue series, there was a debate kind of like that where they were going back and forth, and they're trying to like, why do you say it like that? And the word in question was both. Whether you say both or both, like, I'm just like, why are you putting an L in there? Like,
I always got my fun of. I still do. Clarify on this. When saying Coors, I say cures.
cures.
Every time when
Coors
I can
Light.
say Coors just by itself,
Uh-huh.
but when I am speaking it in a sentence, it comes out cures.
Cure.
So everyone always comes up to me and says, "How do you say door? Door? Are you sure it's not door?
Door.
I'm like, really?
What about cool?
Cool.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's Coors. And it comes out
Just that
Coors.
word.
I don't know why. When I'm speaking in a sentence. So if you're ever having a conversation and you hear me say that, point that out to me because I will okay, thanks.
Yep. All right, but so I know that we keep digressing off of this. So what actual like Thanksgiving stories do you think you have, John? Do you got anything?
Well, I do have one, and it's one of my very fond memories of Thanksgiving.
Okay.
When we lived in Tennessee, everyone knows that my family's redneck.
Oh yeah.
Everyone who knows.
I mean that as a compliment.
Right,
Yeah.
right. It's not a disrespect. I will
Yeah.
take it as a compliment. It's better than that than anything else. Trust
Right.
me. But my grandfather, we went to Illinois for the first time with my grandfather to see on his side, his sister's side,
Okay.
Thanksgiving. Going over there. Never been to Illinois. Never dealt with them. I've done with Arkansas. I've done with Tennessee. I've done with all them Southern folks, but never the Illinois folks. And I'll tell you right now, there's some crazy rednecks up there.
It's Illinoisans.
Oh my gosh! So we
They're
get
pretty annoying.
yeah, exactly. So we get there and we're having a good time. Instead of turkey, we have deer.
Ooh.
Delicious deer.
Yeah, that sounds pretty
they
good.
just killed on that day.
Fresh meat.
So it was delicious. They made their own wine, beer, everything. It was really amazing. But the main fond memory I have of them is I remember my two second cousins
Okay.
got in the biggest debate. My truck's better than yours. My truck's better than yours. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm in the redneck era
Yeah.
here. Here we go. So how did they settle their argument?
Oh, they do the tug of war.
They did a tug of war,
Oh
baby.
my gosh.
Oh yeah, so it was a Dodge Ram,
Oh, boy.
Cummins engine versus an F250. The F250 pulled that truck across the yard, man. You just
Oh,
see mud
man.
flopping and everywhere, dude. It was awesome.
But how would it fare against the Tesla Cybertruck?
Oh gosh.
Well, let's see. One's diesel, one's electric. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure the diesel takes it.
And this is a Tesla didn't make this one technically.
Oh my gosh.
So if Tesla did, he would probably say, "Oh yeah, you know what? My car would have won or truck."
Dude, I love those tug of war videos where it's like you see like the entire truck bed come flying off the back because the truck is just that poorly made.
All I think of is that scene in Thor, which
yeah.
Stan Lee was the one trying to pull the hammer.
There you go.
Did I get it?
Did I get it?
Yeah, that's all I see right there.
Oh my gosh.
How was the weather? Was it like dry outside, or did you have
Actually,
some nice mudslinging along with it?
It was a lot. It was actually cold and rainy.
Dude, yeah, there we go.
It was
yeah,
it was
the
in
mud.
November. You know, you have that mix. That mixed situation. You can get rain and cold, or snow and cold. But the rain and cold is always the worst.
Right.
Always the worst. But I actually would say snow on the ground, then rain at the same time. That's worse.
Yeah, that's
Then it gets icy.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, then like what you're saying with the rain too is like your body starts to chill down, and then plus the cold wind, it's like you just freeze quicker than if just the snow melts on you and like kind of goes
Exactly.
away quickly. But yeah, oh man, so you were talking about delicious deer, which I honestly I can't recall if I've ever had. I know my dad's brought home bear burgers before, or like ground beef, ground bear,
Right.
But yeah, ground bear burgers and stuff. So those are really good.
My boss
have you
has
ever?
brought us some homemade deer jerky before. My boss likes to make jerky, and he'll bring that to us sometimes.
Yeah, but so in the vein of Thanksgiving, have you guys ever had any like gross Thanksgiving recipes or like anything that hit the table? I know last week we talked about side dishes, but was there anything that just like, oh my gosh, who made this and why?
I put this on here because I found a list of people's gross recipes.
Oh gosh.
Oh man.
I have a list here of hilariously terrible Thanksgiving recipes that are so bad they're good. So I figured I'll let all of us here at the table be the judge of that.
Yeah, before we go into it, we'll get a grading scale of 1 to 5. 5 being puke my guts out, and then obviously 1 being like I might try it.
Right.
All
Okay.
right.
Okay,
Everyone
so
good? We're clear on that?
one
Yeah.
means good then.
Yes, one again. It doesn't necessarily mean good, but I would maybe
give
try
it a shot.
Yeah.
Okay. So this first one up here is called Cranberry Surprise. It is made with mayonnaise.
Bad start already.
It's one of those vintage recipes out of a magazine. So let's see. What have we got in here? It looks like it's just like cranberries in mayonnaise with, I don't know, orange and apple and chopped walnuts.
Yeah, I'm already done. I'm out.
It's put in these nice little Jello molds.
Nope.
I'm done. That's a 5.
I'm already at a 4.5 at least. Maybe 5.
That's a 5 right there.
five.
Mayonnaise just threw me
At that
off.
point, you're basically just eating mayonnaise pudding with a couple like
Exactly.
toppings in it. Like,
Exactly.
Ugh.
I think it's just topped with mayonnaise. To be fair.
As the whipped cream.
Okay, well, you gotta
Yeah.
make sure you're clear on this because I gotta make sure I understand what I'm reading.
Yeah. Okay. Look, I think it's got like gelatin. It's gelatin based.
Okay.
Then we got sugar and oh no, there's mayonnaise in it too.
Oh
Okay.
gosh. Yep.
Oh.
Nope.
Yeah, and then I think it's topped with mayonnaise also.
Mayonnaise Jello pudding is basically what we just had
Who
here.
likes mayonnaise just by itself, basically?
No,
that's,
it's like-
that's pretty much what you're eating.
Again,
with
the
fruit.
only-
It's like flavored.
Yeah, it's like you just put mayonnaise on like bread if you don't want it to be like as dry or something. But
Right,
other
for a
than that-
sandwich.
Yeah.
I could get that.
But
dude.
this just sounds no.
All right, the next one looks a lot better. It's called turkey cake,
Okay.
Okay.
and if you look at it, it looks like it's kind of an entire Thanksgiving meal, just kind of smushed together
Almost looks like carrot cake
into
a
a
little bit.
cake format.
I would actually think it would look a lot
Right?
like the scene from Friends.
Oh yeah.
That
yeah,
Rachel made.
so it looks like it's got like some layers of turkey and mashed potatoes and stuffing, and it's topped with like the yams with the marshmallows, and it's
Okay.
got like mashed potatoes,
Mashed potatoes.
Hey,
mashed potatoes around it. So
Okay.
it's kind of like a whole Thanksgiving meal in a slice. I think that's what we're looking
So
at
it's like
here.
a Thanksgiving cake then, kind of like we were talking about our Thanksgiving.
Yeah, they call
turkey
it turkey
bites.
cake, but it looks like it's more of a Thanksgiving cake.
I'd give that one a 1.
I
I'd
would
try that.
Mine's the only reason why I would get it too is just because I hate yams. I'm not a big
okay.
fan of yams. But if the yams wasn't out, I would definitely try it.
I mean,
Okay.
yeah, it's just a top layer
Yeah.
there, so you can scrape that off.
Yeah, so you really can. So I mean, yeah, I would eat it for
Okay,
sure.
yeah,
I would
that's
give it a
not bad.
shot.
Okay, and we're back into cursed territory here.
Oh, gosh.
Pizza with gravy.
What?
It's exactly what it sounds like. It's just
Pizza
slice
covered
of
in
pizza
beef.
topped with gravy.
Okay.
That one, I think I may put a 2.5 to 3.
This
I
is the
can't.
thing
yeah.
where you're like, I didn't get around to cooking this year, so I got in pizza and went to KFC for a bucket of gravy.
See, that's what it's going to have to be. Is just people make gravy in different ways.
Right.
So they
Whether
add
you want it
different
thick,
stuff.
liquidy, yeah.
Yeah, and they add stuff to it, so it has like the turkey base or chicken or whatever the case would be. So it depends on the gravy. I would have to rate it. So I probably
Yeah.
would say about the same thing, like 2 or 2.5.
If it was a beef gravy, I think I'd lean more towards the lower score. If it was,
it was
turkey
all meat.
or chicken, maybe a little more inclined to like try it out. But even still,
Okay, well, how about this one? Powerade basted turkey.
What?
It is bright blue.
Oh no. That looks like you just fried a Smurf.
Yeah.
It does look like a fried
It actually does.
It's like it's that blue.
Oh my gosh.
And it's got some lemons in there that it also marinated in. So it's got like a nice blue fruity marinade.
It's like I wouldn't mind Powerade with lemon. That sounds fine, but on a turkey,
Yeah.
that's not. I'm giving that
I
one.
wonder what else it's seasoned with, like, if anything. Does it have like some nice spices, or is it just like turkey that's been coated in fruit?
Yeah, when you literally look at it, meat doesn't really go good all the time with fruit.
No.
Yeah, you gotta be
There's
careful
no-
there.
Yeah, because pineapple is
That could be good.
delicious
Yeah.
with meat. When they do the Hawaiians do it with pig. all
Oh
the
yeah,
time.
luau pig.
Oh, that's so good. But
Powerade and lemon. That's what
yeah,
they're putting on this thing.
That's where. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm giving that one a 3.5 to 4.
Yeah.
On the puke scare.
Yeah.
Scale.
I
Scare.
definitely will put it at probably about 4.5 myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, this is another vintage one out of a magazine.
Okay.
Spam and lima beans.
Spamma beans. Oh.
I mean, it's kind of aesthetically pleasing, I guess,
Visually,
It's-
I'll give it an A,
Yeah, I was
but
gonna-
because it's got like the nice red and
I
green
just-
contrast there. But I mean,
I like Spam, but the lima beans are just kind of weird.
yeah, it's like two things that aren't that great on their own, and then you put them together, and it doesn't really make it any better.
They need,
Yeah.
they need to take the beans out and put Reese's, and then we're okay.
Spam and Reese's.
Spam and Reese's?
Another Hawaiian thing. Come on, guys.
That's a thing?
Actually, yeah.
I know they eat Spam a lot, but Reese's?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Have you
my-
not watched 51st Dates?
I did watch it at least once, but I haven't seen it in such a long time.
It was a Spam and Reese's thing.
Okay, maybe I'll try that
I
out.
watch it and then I
I-
forget
'Cause
about it when I wake
again,
up.
I
the
do
next
like
day.
both of those.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like that would
I
be sound
got
better.
you, Sarah.
Clarify. I want to say that didn't sound better, but you know.
So now, would you melt this, like heat up the Spam and melt the chocolate over it, or would you just?
Oh no, I'll just fry
Just
up
eat
the
it straight?
Spam and then just
Okay.
light it like
Gotcha.
that.
Okay,
If
here's
I
an
had
interesting one. This is kind of in line with our turkey cake earlier.
All right.
It's a Thanksgiving sushi.
Okay, that's okay. So far, again, looks a little weird, but let's hear what the ingredients are, because it could be like those
Yeah.
turkey bites I was talking about.
I don't really have a list of ingredients in the listicle that I'm reading.
A listicle?
A list article. That's
Oh.
what they call it. It's a thing.
I did. Okay, you tell me.
But it looks like that it's turkey, mashed potatoes. I see some stuffing in there. It looks like it's wrapped in bacon. So
Is it cooked?
it looks like it. Yeah, it's got to be cooked.
Well,
Yeah.
no, sushi. I think of raw fish.
Yeah,
you know,
I think
so
it's
I'm
just
not sure-
referring to the shape.
Yeah, and people
Okay.
do have raw
Yeah.
chicken too, like the sashimi or
Yes.
whatever. So yeah, that could be pretty iffy. But no, if it's cooked, yeah,
I'm down.
it just looks
Yeah,
like the
it looks
meatballs.
like the sushi just refers to the shape, how it's a
Okay.
roll, and it's in these nice little
You
slices.
know, I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
think
not
this
too
one
bad.
actually looks pretty good, pretty creative. And it's
Okay.
wrapped in bacon again.
Delish.
So
Yeah, I'll give
that's a
that
nice
a 1.
touch.
Yeah, that'll be a one, definitely one to try out.
Twinkie casserole.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, it doesn't look bad, but it look okay. At first glance, it looks like they literally just stuck a bunch of Twinkies together in a pan and then just baked that in the oven for however long.
It's for those people for whom the yams with marshmallows is not sweet enough. That's who it's for. The comment on it just says, "I would have loved this when I was 10. I was also mildly obese when I was 10."
Well, eating Twinkie casserole, I can't imagine why.
Oh man, I don't know how I feel about that one.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Like, it's so weird because like when there was that whole Twinkie scare, like the hostess going out of business or whatever. Like, I was like, oh man, I gotta get a box of Twinkies, and then I ate not ate a box of Twinkies, but I got a box, ate a Twinkie, and I was like, oh right, I remember why I don't buy these regularly. Like,
Yeah, I
it's
never
not
liked Twinkies that much.
They're not that great.
I'm the guy from the Zombielands. I want my Twinkies. I love my Twinkies.
dang Twinkie.
There's only 2 things I love in this world. That's deep fried Twinkies and Oreos. And that's the reason why I love my Twinkies.
What? Not your family or the Cowboys or God?
That
Well,
are deep
I
fried.
got a deep fried. That's what I said. Deep
Okay,
fried, bro.
He doesn't have a deep fried family. That's
Or
disgusting.
God. I don't want the
Deep fried.
I don't want that.
Okay, I must have missed the deep fried part. But yeah, I just heard there's 2 things I love in this world, and I'm just like, wait, what about?
No, he said that are deep fried.
Okay.
And this is kind of our last one here. It's turkey and gravy soda.
That I have actually seen as
It's
a thing.
just straight soda. I thought it was like a base. No, I'm not drinking that.
Yeah, wasn't there a that ice cream place, Farrell's? Didn't they have that or something
Yeah,
like that?
you
I don't
can
think I've
find
ever-
all these crazy sodas in different
Yeah.
places. I'm sure Farrell's is one. Bevmo will sell them a lot too.
Yeah,
Yep.
probably.
Just kind of a like build your own.
Those are always
Six-pack
nice.
kinda
I always
thing.
like those things.
So maybe we can find it. Then you guys can try it on a future episode.
Yeah,
Hey, there you go.
But you know what? I have to apologize to our listeners. I totally dropped the ball on getting the Bean Boozled game ready for us because I figured like, oh, it'll be like our little fun meal to share with each other. But again, maybe we'll have to do it
Oh
come
no,
Christmas
I don't
time.
have to eat gross jelly beans. I'm so
Yeah.
disappointed.
Oh no, you'll have to eat them at one point.
There was actually a candy that came out for Halloween. It was called the Zombie Skittles.
Oh, no.
And that freaked me out when I first had because I bought it and I didn't know what was it.
Uh-huh.
So I mean they're delicious until I had one that popped in my mouth. It was a zombie and it literally tasted like hard to say like vinegar and mixed
Just
with like a
something-
meaty taste.
Oh.
Oh, it was horrible. I was like, I took a bite and I'm thinking that was like, was that left over from lunch? Or
Yeah, like,
what did I eat?
What did I just swallow?
Oh, it's so horrible. So I tried
Oh my
to trick
gosh.
my sister about it because it'd been bad. There was what was it again? That was Bamboozled. Is that right?
Bean Boozled, yeah.
Okay. She loved doing that. I don't. She wanted to play that game, so she tried it herself. But I got her to try one of the zombies, and she flipped out. She freaked out. She's all like,
No, I don't want it. Gosh, man. Well, all right. I think with that Bean Boozlement of a conclusion of our random portion of the podcast, wow, it's now time for us to transition to the entertainment portion of the podcast. John, I didn't give you a heads up on that. That was my bad.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, so we got a few things to cover. One being the Charlie's Angels reboot / flop. Apparently, there are articles and interviews with Elizabeth Banks. She directed, I think, wrote, and even starred in this movie. And she's blaming the Marvel community and pretty much men in general as to why this movie flopped in the first place. She said, "Oh, people can't handle a female-led or female-driven movie anymore." And to that I say, no, your movie just sucked. Because you know what? Like, I like the Terminator movies. That's got Sarah Connor. I know I talked about Dark Fate or whatever not being too good, but that was just because it wasn't really original. Like, that was my big complaint with it. But I got no problem with, like, Alien, Sigourney Weaver, Terminator with, I'm not remembering the actress's name, but the girl who plays Sarah Connor. Like, there are plenty of other female-led movies where it's like, no, I
Wonder
like...
Woman.
Right.
Wonder Woman,
Captain Marvel.
Yeah, and then she was trying to, caveat those movies like, oh, but they're still part of a male universe. They're still part of like the
don't
Marvel.
give me
It's
that.
like no, they're still female characters. Like,
Yeah.
like I had no problem with Captain Marvel. Brie Larson did amazing. Wonder Woman was awesome with Gal Gadot. Like, what is she trying to get at here? Like, you want to just pick your fights with people? It's like, yeah, no wonder your movies are gonna flop because you keep pissing off your fans.
Well,
Really?
I think the problem was they cast Kristen Stewart, and she
That-
was such a
problem number
divisive
one.
casting choice because
Right.
I think like a lot of the people that went to see the movie went to see it because they wanted to see Kristen Stewart, and everybody else that wasn't interested in the movie was disinterested because of Kristen Stewart.
Yep.
Well,
I-
also the idea of all of this is who's going to actually really go see it? Women?
I don't even know.
People
like,
who are into Charlie's Angels.
Yeah, it's like-
which is men.
Yeah, and that was one of the things that some of the other people were bringing up is like when Charlie's Angels first came out, it was kind of like geared towards men. It's like it was a bunch of like babes, being all
Yeah.
hot and sexy and stuff.
It's
like
hot girls with
during-
guns.
Exactly.
Yeah, like so it was a male geared show, but again they wanted to do the reboot movie. I can't even remember when the first one came out, like maybe a couple
Yeah, it
decades
was
ago.
a long time ago.
But I had no interest in seeing that movie, so they do a reboot. It's like, okay, there wasn't really a lot of general interest in this in the first place. Why would you pick that to reboot? Why not just make a different movie altogether?
But the biggest thing is what's up with all the reboots?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
and that's
Yeah.
the biggest thing that they're doing, and they picked one horrible one to reboot.
yeah, and that's my big complaint with our review sections when we start going over movies. It's like, okay, how original was this? If you're just making a reboot, like you're going to get a 0
Yep.
pretty much for that.
Yeah. Well, it was
Sequels are different, but a
Right.
reboot in general, where it's just like, no, nobody cared about this in the first place. Like,
I'm gonna probably make a lot of older guys here who are mad, but my father just
Okay.
told me about this. Is that they're remaking James Bond?
oh yeah, okay, yeah, I've seen articles talking about that.
They're gonna make it a girl, James Bond.
Yep.
And my dad's already flipped out as it is because they're going to finish off with that one character who's already playing that's James Bond, the actor.
Yeah, Daniel Craig, correct?
Daniel
Yeah,
Craig.
Yeah, I
Daniel
think
Craig.
so. Yeah. So they're going to finish him up, do one more movie, and then they're going to go straight into the female version. Which, if I recall, I'm not a big James Bond fan. James Bond is a title, not the name of per se of the character
Yeah.
itself. James Bond is the spy name.
Well, 007 I think was his actual
Yes,
agent
it's
name.
the
and that-
agent. Yeah,
And
but-
from the writings that he was a male character.
Correct.
Yeah.
Even and so they're now going to consist of making it a female, which that's going to lose a lot of tension on the male figures per se because of the idea that it's always been James Bond. They're changing the past of lots of movies. I don't even know how many movies there is. There's more than Star Wars right
Right.
now.
Well, I mean, if they restart it in like a new universe type of thing, which is like, you know, I get it, like, but like, because I know there was a huge push, and I'm kind of on this bandwagon. If they do end up rebooting the franchise, I would want them to get Idris Elba, because again, it's like the James Bond book franchise or whatever. They just talk about him being a male, you know, again, whatever. He's a male spy, male espionage, whatever else. Not male espionage. I almost made him sound bad, but just espionage in general, like, you know, that kind of spy thriller type storyline. And so Idris Elba would be a great character for that. And like my only thing and my complaint is like, why can't people just like you were saying, John, it's always got to be a reboot or like a reimagining of the franchise. Why can't you just make something that's original? Like, you know, there's one movie coming out called The Rhythm Section, and it has Ryan Reynolds' wife in it.
Blake Lively.
Blake Lively. And that looks really good. It's like another kind of thing where I guess like in the trailer it shows like her family dies in either like a terrorist attack or some kind of like incident. And so she goes out of her way to like, you know, start training and get revenge on the people who killed her family.
Right.
That
Again,
looks good.
A female-led action movie that looks really awesome because
I got no
it's
problem
a
with
cool
that.
original concept and it looks like it's actually doing something good.
Yeah. It's like...
And people have done a phenomenal job of playing as a female actress in a bad A kind of style.
Right.
Scarlett Johansson.
Yes.
She was the start, in my opinion, that brought all that, because she was the perfect actress to
Actress
play
choice,
as a character like her. And then it went on to even further. The chick that played in Hobbs and Shaw, I thought she was fantastic.
Oh yeah, Shaw's sister.
Yeah, I thought she was fantastic. She was in The Crown at first, in that TV show, and then she went to this, and it's like, you will never know. But she did a phenomenal job, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And it's just like you said, start with something fresh, brand new that no one's ever seen, and make it a good movie.
Yeah. That's why again I think in conclusion, Elizabeth, this is all on you. The movie
it's just
is
a bad
not-
movie.
It's just a bad movie.
I'm sorry.
Like, sorry.
You had an idea and it just wasn't good. It happens. That's the business.
Yeah, just move on, do better next time.
Go
and again,
commiserate with Disney over The Lion King. Like, they have bad ideas too.
Yeah. Well, you know, while we stay in the vein of Marvel, there are several other things I wanted to cover within that universe going forward in the MCU. In 2023, they're showing posters now, and they're teasing us with Lady Iron. And I believe Tony Stark's daughter is going to end up taking up the mantle of becoming the next Iron Man, or Iron Woman in this case. Because again, we've got no problem with gender issues here. It's just
because she's an actual character, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, this is
it's not that they're
character.
just like transform like pulling a Bond where they're transforming the long-standing character into a female.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's an entirely different character.
Yes.
I would be even okay if they created a new character itself in to the Marvel universe.
MCU.
Yeah, I would be totally okay, since that everyone loved her in Endgame. She was just a little girl, and everyone loved her in that.
Right.
I did. I mean, when she said "I love you 3000," I mean that touched everyone's heart.
Oh yeah.
And I was just like,
everyone's
wow.
tearing up.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, just to have that connection already with Stark's daughter is like, okay, that's totally cool, and I like that.
Yeah, so I'm totally looking forward to that movie coming out. Like I said, 2023, and we talked about Black Adam last week with the 2021 release date. And so it's there. I love the direction that they're going with this stuff. You know, again, I have no problem with female-led characters that are female-led. But yeah, so I'm just repeating myself. But either way. That should be a good addition to the movies. But then also, I was telling you this earlier, John. I saw an article from I think one of the Marvel fan pages or whatever on Facebook, and it was talking about how the MCU people. I mean, they're in discussions currently with Keanu Reeves to play a major character in the MCU.
Right.
They've already brought on other people for the Eternals, like we mentioned before, and they're also now considering bringing on Brad Pitt as a major villain. And there's talks that he could possibly play Doctor Doom, and that I'm thinking about it. And I think, he could come across as like this, when you think of the Doctor Doom character, just this like, I know he has the mask on and everything, so you don't really see like, his, not that he had like beauty in the comics, but just like the way he can portray a character. Like Brad Pitt has good acting skills, I think he could definitely pull off a Doctor Doom type villain to where it's like, you think you're ahead of me, no, I'm 2 steps ahead of you kind of thing.
I don't know. I mean, you have to, I haven't got a chance to actually really think about it, because you told me this like just a few minutes ago.
Right, and for the record, the article did say that there are two other characters that he could play still in the villain category, but I just can't remember the titles off the top of my head. But again, Doctor Doom is a prevalent one.
Yeah.
So I think he could fit that role. I don't see anything wrong with that casting choice.
I always been the one. I'm always the one that goes in depths with a lot of digging into seeing, okay, character wise, the way they fit. Things
right.
Like that. Like you already know who my pick is for Keanu Reeves to play as, and that's Ghost Rider. I mean,
that'd be great.
There is no one better to play against Ghost Rider than he is.
Yeah,
I mean,
if anything,
top notch.
if you would get like Norman Reedus after his acting stuff on The Walking Dead stuff, because he's always riding a motorcycle, he's got that bad boy attitude, like that could work. But Keanu Reeves is still just a great actor.
Oh,
so,
by far.
Yeah, so I would approve him as that as well.
But if Brad Pitt was to play a villain, I honestly I would love to see that because I think he could play as a villain.
Right.
What villain is the question?
Yeah, a long-standing villain, because you don't just bring on Brad Pitt for a one movie role and then kill him off.
And that's the thing with Doom though too. Doom is he's the number one on the Shield's hit list. He was the biggest top dog. So to kind of say that we're going to put Brad Pitt in is kind of like, okay, should we put him as Thanos? Because Thanos was the cover of all the in-game stuff.
Right.
So it was kind of like, I'm leaning on like, is he that face? Is even Doom going to be the main villain of the next Avengers?
Right. You mean like the whole overarching thing, how they tie 20 movies together at that one villain?
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd give him that role, but at the very least, I'd give him just like 2 or 3 movies. Again, if they stick within the Fantastic Four universe, and hopefully they do still bring on John Krasinski to play that character, which fingers crossed he does, for Dr. Reed Richards. But yeah, I would definitely see him being able to come back for 1, 2, 3 movies. Again, don't that's the one problem I have with the MCU is they always kill off major villains in one movie, and it's just like no, like keep them around, like have them linger for a bit, because they are these iconic villain characters for each of the different heroes, but they end up dying at the end of the movie, and it's just like come on, you can't kill them off that quick.
Spider-Man is the only one I see the future changing into the way of that villains are not going to die.
Right, they got longevity to them. Yeah.
So and then at the end of the new one that just released, a lot of stuff was spilled out. So I could see that being changed. But like I said, Brad Pitt has to have multiple movies.
Right.
Than just be that. But Doom is one of those villains that it's like you should build off of that.
Yes.
Build off of him. The Fantastic Four is what we want, then make it happen.
Right. Yeah. So I'm definitely on board for that. How about you, Sarah? How do you feel about Brad Pitt in the MCU?
Well, I was just thinking that it sounds like he's probably a pretty good fit for the character, but another pet peeve of mine, along with a bunch of remakes and sequels, is this trend that tends to happen a lot where a person is put in a role just because they're famous. The best example I can think of is Emma Watson in Beauty and the Beast.
Oh yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah, it's like it just seems like she was put into that role just because she's a good, wholesome English actress.
Right.
Yeah, she's Hermione. Everyone loves her. Let's put her in the role of Belle. And I thought it was just like a terrible miscast. And I've never seen it, but apparently she can't sing. And
Oh, cool.
it's like I feel like it would have been more successful if they had put in someone with less notoriety into that role that fit Belle's character a lot more,
right?
Than to just throw a familiar face in there.
Yeah, which would have done the movie a lot more, not justice. What's the word I'm looking for? It would have been better for the movie, just overall.
It was a good movie, but she was the only fault that I would say that my opinion, she was the only fault.
Yeah.
In that movie, I thought Beast was the best. I think all the cast. I'm not going to just pick one person.
Yeah.
I think all the cast was perfect in their position, besides her. I still would have had the girl from.
Anna Kendrick?
Yeah, Anna Kendrick. I still would have picked her first because she's
she's
looks like a
little
Belle.
goofy though. She's always a goofy person.
That's the only fault.
She could kind of pull off some sass though. I mean, you look at the movie she did with Pitch Perfect and stuff. She can kind of get a little bit of sass to her character, and I think Belle, even in the animated series or animated movie, she would tell Gaston off and had no problem doing that. She wasn't like, oh no, I'm helpless. It's like she'd give a little bit of attitude.
That's one the thing about the Emma Watson. She had an attitude problem. She had the biggest attitude. Belle never really truly had an attitude. She was a kind-hearted person.
Just not like Gaston.
Yeah. So that's the only thing I would say with this whole idea. Oh, let's put John Krasinski and Brad Pitt and Keanu Reeves into the Marvel universe, and it's like, okay, I mean if they fit the characters, but at the same time, would it be better to just pull an unfamiliar face in that really really fits the character instead of just someone that everybody knows? But
that's what I'm saying though, is they get the benefit of both worlds in that respect, because John Krasinski can play multiple characters. I mean, we've seen him in countless movies where, again, everyone knows him as the goofy, lovable guy in The Office.
Right.
But, I mean, he has, spy thrillers now with Jack Ryan on the Amazon series. He's got different, he's got the suspense movies that he wrote and directed in with A Quiet Place. He's got a lot under his belt and a lot of acting stuff for both serious drama and comedy. He's got a wide range of acting skills.
He has a lot in his tool belt.
Yeah, and Brad Pitt, same thing. It's he's done everything from Fight Club to, we just watched the ninth Quentin Tarantino film,
Yeah.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and stuff like that. Like Brad Pitt can go anywhere. Same with like we were talking about Christian Bale. I mean, maybe not to the extent Christian Bale has. I don't know if I'd put him on that level, but he's still a great actor. Talking about Brad Pitt, so.
But here's the other thing: like Brad Pitt is 56 years old.
That's another
like
problem.
I know he doesn't look like it, but like, does that fit the character that they're casting him in?
But again, in that choice, like I don't think age has to play too much of a factor because Doctor Doom is covered up. He wears an outfit, so he doesn't have to worry about like staying in like. I mean, granted, I don't think Brad Pitt's gonna let himself just slop out and get fat or anything.
Obviously,
because we saw him in like I said, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. The dude had a 6-pack that was solid. But
he looked like 30.
Yeah, he looked 30. So I don't think him and his wife. I mean, like you don't see age anywhere on them. It's like I think he'll be fine for the role. And again, if he's covered up in a costume or whatever else, he's not gonna have to worry about that as much.
Yeah,
and it comes that Doom is also a very intelligent person.
Yeah,
science nerd.
Yes, exactly.
So it doesn't really matter for his age because again, dressed up and smart.
Yeah, exactly. He looks like a devilish Davenir individual, and then becomes Doctor Doom.
They'll probably make a scene where it shows his face, and they might do like that CGI look, maybe.
Yeah,
that's,
but again, at his age, I don't think he really needs like too much makeup or anything. He's not like someone that's like super wrinkly or just didn't age well. Like no, he'll be fine.
He's not in his 80s.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to transition now to do a few movie reviews. I posted on Facebook. Me and Sarah actually both went and saw Knives Out.
Knives Out.
And I know I hyped up this review. However, I kind of baited you guys because despite me putting up that post saying like, "Oh, tune into my review for Knives Out," it is a thriller that is also a mystery movie.
It's a real whodunit.
So that being said, I'm not going to give anything away for this movie other than at least a B+ grade. And so that what I mean by that is, again, it was a good enough movie for you to go see, but it's one of those things me and Sarah were discussing it on the ride home afterward, and I'm just like, how do I talk about this movie without giving away any subtle clues or subtle hints about who could possibly have done the crime in the movie? So I'm not going to say anything about the review. I'm not going to say anything about the movie. Just, it was great. Go check it out. Knives Out comes out this upcoming weekend, actually, because we got an early access premiere thanks to AMC subs memberships. So, actually, we went and saw it at Regal. But either way, I do have both of their things. So either or, Regal or AMC, please sponsor us. I know I always usually go to AMC because they got a lot more variety of like theaters and stuff with Dolby Digital and whatnot. But yeah, Regal, both of you guys, sponsor us. But yeah, so that movie's definitely worth checking out. But the other movies I would like to cover are 21 Bridges. That was the movie with Chadwick Boseman as a New York detective who has to solve the homicides of 7 or 8 cops in the span of one night, and he's got to hunt down these 2 criminals who did it. That movie was really good. I like the casting choices they had for each of the different characters. The guy who J.K. Simmons, the guy who plays give me pictures of Spider-Man. J. Jonah Jameson in the movies and everything. I'm like trying to use like word alliteration. Okay, that character plays this guy, but yeah, J.K. Simmons is the actual actor name. He plays one of the not deputies. He's like the head of the police department of like who's in charge of Chadwick Boseman, and his character is hunting down the investigation and everything. He does a really good part playing his role. Chadwick Boseman does a great part playing detective and everything. So I think the acting choices overall were really good. The music or the soundtrack behind the different scenes, there was a lot of action in the movie, so I really appreciate that. The plot itself maybe left a little bit to be desired, as far as a little bit on the not necessarily that it wasn't unoriginal, but it could have been a little more deep from like the trailers and everything I was seeing. It's like seemed like there was going to be more to it, bigger payoff, stuff like that. And so it was a little underwhelming in that regard, but I think overall, didn't necessarily have a great wow factor. But I think I'd still give this one, like I said with with Knives Out, it's definitely got at least a solid B. If you want to go check it out, Chadwick Boseman and 21 Bridges, I would recommend it. But no pain in waiting if you want to do that as well. But I think the big takeaway from this weekend, I did not see Frozen 2, so don't think I'm about to review that movie.
Let that go.
Yes.
Let it go. We're not going to talk about it.
The movie I do want to give high praises for is A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. If you don't know, this is Tom Hanks playing as Mr. Rogers.
And it's even more wholesome than it sounds. I didn't even see it, but...
This movie,
So
I told Sarah, I saw it by myself because I had to work overtime this weekend, so I was kind of by myself by the theater, and I was like, okay, I need some time to kill. But no, I told Sarah, like, I will gladly go see this movie again with you. It's just wonderfully cast. It's based on a true story of a man who is, has to go write an article about Mr. Rogers and ends up finding out who this man really is and how he's not just acting on a TV screen and everything else. This movie is just something you want to take your whole family to see. It's just so wholesome. It's great for Thanksgiving. It's just great nostalgia, just great love and atmosphere, and just the storyline and everything with it. I usually love movies that are based on true stories because it always just hits you right in the feels. And I told Sarah this. I probably cried several times throughout the movie. It was really powerful, really good acting all around. I give this one a solid A to A+. So it was another movie almost like Blinded by the Light, to where you just walk out of the theater and you're like, man, that was just really
good.
It was just really well done.
Yeah.
So
that's always good because a lot of movies don't do that.
Yeah.
Right.
If you don't want to take your kids, again, they're, we want to see Frozen 2. We want to see Frozen 2. This is another great family movie that could substitute for that you as an adult would enjoy and your kids would also enjoy as well. Because Mr. Rogers is a great family TV show.
Yeah. Well, and it's great because all the people that watched from growing up, like all the people our age,
yes,
we're now all the adults that are going to see this movie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's a huge nostalgic factor there for all of us. Just getting to
yeah,
because you're right, you do kind of grow up, and just like in the premise of the movie, you do kind of grow up, and you're just like, well, I mean, he was a great character on screen, but like, who was he in real life?
Yeah,
and so to have a
exactly.
movie like this that like just confirms, like, no, he really was like just such a pure and wholesome person in real
Yes.
life. Like, and then on top of it, for my birthday, Dylan, you just gave me Time Magazine has a special issue out right now.
yeah, based
It's
on
all
Mr.
about
Rogers.
Mr. Rogers.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited to read through that.
You know what's so funny though?
What's
when
that?
you really honestly know, Tom Hanks does a phenomenal job at any real life or based on a true story events.
Yeah.
Saving Mr. Banks, top-notch movie. He did a phenomenal job as playing Disney.
Yes.
And then he played in that the other movie where he was a pilot in New Yorker. That landed in the bay.
Sully? Is that what it was?
I don't
Because it was
remember
based
the
on the
name.
you're talking about the
Based on
pilot who landed in the Hudson. Yeah.
Yeah. So
And then there was Captain Phillips.
yep.
Captain Phillips. Yeah.
He plays a phenomenal job, and
Yeah.
you can tell. Even though I'm not a big fan of Tom Hanks,
Right.
I'm not a huge fan of him, but I love his acting when it comes to it because he actually put the effort into acting. While
Yeah.
these kids now these days I'm talking about more or less my age or a little bit older,
Right.
who are acting, they don't have that passion that he actually puts
Yeah.
forth into it, and you see it in Saving Mr. Banks, and you see it in this movie right here, The Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood.
Yes.
You see that he actually has that effort, and I haven't got a chance to go see the movie yet either. I'm going to, because it's one of those things. It's like it reminds me of my childhood. Because
Yep.
Yeah.
again, like you
So,
said,
dude,
Yeah.
I remember seeing this, sitting at home, watching this all the time. And if anybody doesn't know, Rogers was a Marine. He was one of the big dog Marines.
I think that.
I will let you know after I finish reading through my Time Magazine.
Okay.
Yeah, because I do believe that
I
there's.
heard someone telling me that
There,
once.
well, there are rumors.
There are
going-
rumors that float around. I don't know
Yeah.
how true that is.
Okay.
I think
Because
they
I've
did.
also read that he
Check it.
just went
Yeah,
straight
'cause-
into seminary.
Yeah. I think
Okay,
they-
yeah, because I was, like I said,
Yeah.
I was just being told that, and I'm thinking, wow, this guy was a Marine? What?
Yeah, I think that's what a lot of
But-
people talk about, but I don't know if it's actually true.
It makes you feel better, though. Bob Ross did have a very long military
Yeah,
career.
Bob Ross did.
Yeah.
There
So
you go.
there you
so
go.
you can have him as
Hey,
your
there
big
you
tough
go.
military guy
It's
that became
still-
really soft.
But still, it's not the more or less being soft, it's the caring part.
Yes.
And that's what I
Yeah.
get from Rogers.
Yeah.
That's the thing that, I like about it. It's like he was not just soft, it was kind. And
Mm.
that's what the things that these kids now these days need to watch.
Yes.
They need to watch this more than they need to watch any of these upcoming movies that are coming out.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, go check this one out. It was great, great, great. Amazing. Just I love it. I gotta go again. I'm talking about
Yeah.
it so much. I want to go see this movie.
Yeah, I
again.
told him after he was telling me how much he liked it. I'm like, it just makes total sense because, like you were just saying, you had the long day at work after a long week of work, and you're just like wiped out mentally, physically, emotionally, and then you just go and see Mr. Rogers, and
Yes.
it's like getting a hug from the silver
Yeah, here
screen.
comes Tom Hanks as Mr.
And,
Rogers, just
like,
being
I'm
like,
not
"It'll be
surprised
okay,
at all
Dylan."
that you were moved to tears by this movie.
Yeah, it was nice. It was very
Is he
lovely.
dressed up as Woody as well?
Oh no. Oh gosh.
Wrong movie.
Yeah.
Wrong franchise.
Next time. But yeah, so the movie was just great. But with all that being said, I think it's now time for us to transition into sports segment. And here we are talking about sports. Like I mentioned earlier, we were going to talk about some track and field updates. We are having the Olympics coming up. But yeah, I was more so getting at the fact that Floyd Mayweather put out a tweet saying that he was going to come out of retirement. That's my track and field update for you guys. I don't know how anyone else, my listeners, feel, or John. I think we got together and watched the Floyd Mayweather versus Conor McGregor fight whenever that happened, and man, it's just I get that everyone's just like, no, you got to put respect on Floyd Mayweather's name because he knows how to like fight. He can duck and dodge and do all this stuff, and like he's a great boxer. I'm just like, yeah, but he doesn't really do much that excites me. He does a lot of running and just scores points. Like I don't want to. When I'm watching a fight, like I want to see a knockout. Like again, when you look at some of the older like former boxers and stuff, it's like they would say like, I'm gonna walk this way, and if you're in my way, you're gonna get knocked out, like kind of thing. It's like they would go into the middle of the ring and like not that they'd be stupid about just brawling straight up. They would be tactical, but they wouldn't just run the whole fight. Like my goodness, man, it's like I don't care. Like I don't care if the guy makes millions of dollars, whatever else. He could probably still kick my butt in a fight. I don't care. I don't think he's that entertaining as a boxer.
No, like, I will have to agree with you. Boxing reminds me of WWE. Fake.
It's just
all fake.
Yeah, all just rigged,
and
whatever.
I'm not saying that boxing is fake per se. What I'm just trying to say is that it's not real. You put those guys in the UFC, then we'll have a conversation.
Right.
Because those men right there in the octagon are the real men who are fighting. Because it's all just hands on. I'm going to take you to the ground, and I'm going to beat you until the bell
until
rings,
the ref has to until the ref
off.
has to say like, you're going to kill this guy. Stop.
So that's basically what I see is, okay, that's a real sport when it comes to fighting wise. WWE is all fake. They planned it, at least.
Right. They know who's going to win. They know who's going to do this. It's all scripted. Yeah.
Exactly. So, and then when it comes to Floyd Mayweather and how he fights, and you know what? I get it. Boxing, you can do that. Punch, run, and you get points for it, and you win. That's technically, and you really look at it, that's a way to win in a sport.
Yeah, what I'm
but
glad
for
too.
fighting wise, nah.
Yeah, and it's like with UFC, it's like they do judge you based on aggression. That meaning like are you the one pushing the fight? Are you the one chasing down the other guy? Like and again, not that you can't still be tactical with it because you don't just run in there head first with your hands down. But again, you still want to be the aggressor and someone who's pushing the fight. And again, they don't want to sit there and just watch people run around each other for a sprinting match. It's like no, that's not what people paid for. That's not what you're here to do. You're here to prove that you're the better fighter than whoever's against you in the ring, whether it's a square ring or an octagon ring. Like you need to just make sure you go in there to get the job done for everyone involved.
Right.
Yeah. But, quickly moving on from that, I don't have too much to talk about with boxing aside from just Floyd Mayweather putting out that tweet. Because who knows who he'll fight. Maybe it'll be Manny Pacquiao again. Maybe Conor McGregor comes out and, says he wants to fight him again. And then he'll disappear for, years on end once more. But, other than that, we can go into basketball. Man, the Lakers, they've been on a hot streak, man.
Ooh.
They had a loss, I think, a few days ago, but then they went on another 7-game win streak. They beat, I think, the Grizzlies last night, 109-108, and then they beat, before that was the OKC Thunder. Yeah, and again, it's like they're just proving time and time again. It's like this is a dangerous team, and I know it's early presumptions, whatever else, but shoot, man, it's like I want to see us get to the playoffs because it's been a long time coming for the Lakers to actually go to the championship and win it, get everything. I want to see LeBron host that trophy in a Lakers jersey. It's gonna be epic. Anthony Davis is playing great. Seeing his block shots and everything. The dude's just they're both dominating on both sides of the ball. Like whatever anyone else says, friggin' commentators want to say that LeBron James is unathletic or whatever else. It's like, nah, dude. Like this dude's in his 17th year of the NBA, and he's still dunking on people. He's still putting the ball down from threes. Like just he knows how to get the job done, and he's a great player overall.
Yeah, he's been doing a phenomenal job. I'm thinking this year alone. I'm just like thinking, man, this guy is that old.
Yeah,
and he's still putting up these big numbers and
monster numbers.
Yeah, and it's he's doing a phenomenal job, and with the help of Anthony Davis. And Anthony Davis was the biggest help.
Right.
And I'm not just saying it's just him because the Lakers gotten some big guys that just in the this year alone, like Dwight Howard.
Yo, yeah.
Dude, I didn't even know the Lakers got him.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that until I just saw him play, and I'm like, wow. And then he's playing actually like he should be. I'm like, okay, finally.
Even our bench has depth to it. Like that's what's great.
Well, and what's funny is I was listening to some podcasts and they were talking about that the Lakers don't really have that, and I'm thinking, what?
People are insane for saying that.
Because this is what happened in the beginning of the year when they played against the Clippers. They didn't have that depth, and I'm thinking, where's the Clippers are right now?
Yeah.
Where are they? I'm not hearing them. Don't get me wrong. We live here in Moreno Valley, and I'm still seeing LA Clippers everywhere. And it's like, last time I checked, the Lakers are still home of California.
Yes.
Not the Warriors, not the
Warriors
Clippers.
up north, the Bay Area.
It's the Lakers.
Yeah.
And the and the Warriors, I give him respect to do what it is. That Christian boy up there,
Steph Curry.
and his team, he carries that team, and then you can tell that God actually supports that team. And it's just phenomenal, and you can tell, But when it comes to the Lakers, this is our home. The SoCal that's the Lakers.
Yeah, it's LA area. That's where we're at. And again, I'm never gonna stop rooting for the Lakers, but at least in that regard, I can root for the Lakers more so than I can for the Chargers because that's just an LA flop that I don't really like to talk about. So again, John's my football buddy, so he knows my pain when the team struggles and everything else. I vent to him a lot. He's my shoulder to cry on.
Yeah.
But yeah, so speaking of just transitioning into football now, I did mention earlier that, or I don't know if I did actually mention this. I'm repeating myself, and I'm just sounding terrible while doing it. But my friend John here, my lovely friend John, is a Dallas Cowboys fanatic. All right, it's easy to say. Dude loves his team. He loves Dallas.
He's wearing a Cowboys shirt as we speak.
Yeah,
Yes.
wearing a Cowboys shirt as we speak. So I thought it'd be interesting for us to talk a little deep dive into his team, the Cowboys, and how he thinks they're doing overall. Because there's a lot going back and forth. At the beginning of the season, we had Zeke sign that big contract where he was $50 million guaranteed, and you have the Cowboys' offensive line has always been regarded as one of the top-notch teams in the NFL as far as line coverage goes for their quarterback, for their running backs, whatever else. They can make holes, they can keep pass protection going. But so I want to talk because right now they're sitting at currently a 6-4 record, if I'm not mistaken.
6-5 now.
6-5. Okay. Wait, did the Patriots game already finish?
Yep.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry about that one.
No,
yeah,
I will go into depth with that one a little bit later.
Right. Okay. We could talk about that. But yeah, so I was hoping for an upset because I didn't want the Patriots to keep that number 1 seed, but hopefully maybe one of the other teams will give them a loss later on in the season. But yeah, so again, just like we're as a Cowboys fan, they do still have a winning record. They do still have control of the division of the NFC East, and so I just want to ask you, as a Cowboys fan, where do you think the issue lies with this kind of I don't know if you want to call it inconsistency or just how do you feel the team's doing overall? Where do you think they really need to improve? Because Dak's doing fairly well. He's leading the league in passing yards and everything else, but you have Zeke on the same offensive side of the ball, and he's not getting a lot of carries. He just got that big contract. What's going on there? What do you think is going on?
Well, first off, I want to start with the blaming on the game's loss.
Okay.
Those are on the coaches. That's not on by any means on the offense or the defensive part. Now there is some games I would say, okay, defensive, you guys should have done something.
Right.
Injuries have been caused. The injuries for the loss against the Jets, that was injuries. Straight up. The Jets beat us. Yes, they did. They barely beat us. Barely.
Right. Yeah, which by the way, they just shellacked the Raiders today, 34-3.
Right.
So,
which I knew that was going to happen because I've said that Jets are a good team, but when it came down to the Cowboys were a better team. We played in their home, and on top of it, we had both tackles out, and
so no protection,
and 2 of our star receivers out. So 4 starters on our offense out. Do you think we lost the game? Yeah, of course we did, because we lost our big dogs, and they were worried about one of our big dogs, and that was Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott. So, but Ezekiel Elliott hasn't done his performance as he should have.
Okay.
He got that big money. Awesome, great. Where's his performance? Where is it? Well, I can tell you right now, it's because he lacked into the preseason. I don't care for the preseason all that much.
Right.
But the preseason does matter when it comes to the running game.
Getting you football ready.
Or, get you football ready, per se. And you can see it in Ezekiel Elliott. You can see it in Bell. Bell's gone. Bell's basically, he's just washed up now because he missed the entire year of football. NFL is the league's top dogs. These are the best of the best in the football, all played of all time. They go to play in the leagues. So that's what they are. That means bigger hits, harder hits, everything like that. Your body could only handle so much. And you can see it in Ezekiel Elliott. That's the thing. Zeke is running up the ball, and he only has a couple yards and not the big plays.
Right.
He's not feeding as much. So, and on top of it, this isn't his football team anymore. To be honest, people say, this was Zeke's team. This was Zeke's team. No, it was never Zeke's team. It was never has. It was Dak Prescott's. When he came in and took over from Tony Romo, it was his game from day one.
Right.
Now, I've had my problems with him, but I never said it was his fault to the point. I believe the problem was our offensive coordinator.
Okay, so
Scott Linehan was the problem.
Okay.
So
and now you guys have Kellen Moore, correct?
Yeah, we have Kellen Moore. And this is his first year, and I think he's doing a great job psyching out the defense a little bit right here. Yeah, you know what? The Cowboys did lose to the New England Patriots, but it was raining, cold, the wind was blowing.
Okay.
The stats for Dak Prescott was 1832, 199 yards, and an interception.
Okay.
Tom Brady's stats was 1737 and 190 yards and a touchdown. When you really look at it, Dak and Tom had basically the same stats. So you know the offense didn't do that well. Ezekiel Elliott compared to Michaels, Zeke had 21 carries with 86 yards. Michaels had 20 carry with 85 yards.
Okay.
Cobb, our top receiver for our team, had 5 receptions with 86 yards. Julian Edelman, 8 receptions with 93 yards. So you could tell that the key point of who won that game was the defense.
Yeah. The defense is back and forth.
Yeah,
Great.
and it was a phenomenal game to watch. You know, even with that loss, I'm satisfied because now we know what to do. We know the weakness of the Patriots is their offense. Their offense is not that great. They're actually horrible in my opinion. They may say, "Oh, praise them so well." They're going to go to the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, and that's
Patriots will go to the Super Bowl if Baltimore gets beat in the playoffs. Baltimore will beat them in the playoffs.
My dad's already making claims that, like, you know, again, if the Patriots play him again because of Belichick, that they're going to be ready for him. But it's like there's only so much you can do on defense. You can stop the run, you can stop the pass. But how do you contain someone like Lamar Jackson? Again, if they beat him handily the first time, it was almost 20-point victory.
Almost, yeah.
You know, so it's just like they never lost the lead. Like the Baltimore Ravens were up 10-0 at one point, and then they just ran away with the game. Like you can only contain so much on the defensive end of the ball before it's just like, okay, well the guys are getting tired. They can't be 3 places at once. You can't cover Lamar Jackson and the wide receiver, or you can't cover Lamar and the running back. It's like, you know, what do you like? Pick your poison, like because the Baltimore Ravens, they have several for you to just drink on and just die because you're going to get murdered in that game.
Right.
But,
exactly.
And again, I'm hoping. I don't want to see another Patriots Super Bowl. Like I know I'm biased about that, but like I don't care. Like I'm getting tired of it.
Nobody does. I know the Patriots fans do, but most of those are just bandwagons anyways because they can't even name the quarterback before Tom Brady.
Exactly.
So that's the biggest problem. And with that, but when it comes down to the idea of, just in generally the Dallas Cowboys, I have to blame the problem of the coaching.
Okay.
There has to be a problem going on because right now we all know, the Cowboy fans know that that Jason Garrett's out.
Jason Garrett, yeah.
Yeah, he's out. He's out of this year. After this year. Now the question is who's going to take over that spot? We have the best roster in the league, in my opinion. All in generally on defense and offense.
Right, on paper
it's all great. But the problem is if you don't have a bad coaching, then you're not going to have a good game.
Do you blame it all the offensive line for Zeke's poor performance, or do you think it's still just all Zeke?
No, it's. I don't blame all of it on the offensive line. I blame Zeke or the play call.
Okay.
Or at the right time of the play call. That's what I'm trying to point out there. It's not necessarily it was the bad play call. Like it could have been a good call, but maybe not run it in that direction. Maybe swap the direction or switch it over, which is Dak's thought or Dak's play to do that.
Okay.
But I'm impressed with Dak Prescott.
Yeah,
I am in loving with it because I've said this from day one. He is the best quarterback in the NFC East. Carson Wentz is just straight up trash. I said it. I love the man. I love what he believes in. He believes in Jesus Christ. Awesome, great. But you do not run that team. It was Nick Foles' team, and I said it from day one. When he won that Super Bowl, it was Nick Foles.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people talk about is how he's one of the guys who has the most pressure on his shoulder this season because of the fact that, like, again, Nick Foles did big things for that city by winning them their first Super Bowl championship. Yep. And now Wentz comes in because they didn't want to get rid of him because they traded up to get him as a number 1 draft pick or whatever else. In the draft. What year was it again? They picked up Wentz. Is it 2 years ago? 3 years? 16. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, they pick him up and they're like, okay, well, we already invested a lot of money into him, so we're not going to just dump him off to another team, even though Nick Foles just won us this as a backup. But who knows? It doesn't look like it's paying off dividends because, again, Wentz isn't doing, like you said, he's not doing hot this season.
And if all you guys if you guys knew, before Foles was going to retire. He was going to retire before he went back to the Eagles. And they wanted him as backup, and he goes, you know what? Okay, this is what God wants me to do, and I'm going to do it. So he did. And sure enough, he won in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
It wasn't Wentz. I didn't see Wentz up there holding the MVP trophy up there as a Super Bowl MVP. It was Nick Foles.
Yep.
Nick Foles will go down as not the one that goes in the Hall of Fame for the one as a quarterback, as for the Super Bowl champ, because he was a backup quarterback. Do he deserve that? I think he should have been with the Eagles the entire time of his career.
Yeah,
and I guarantee you, he would have had at least 2 more Super Bowls.
Yeah, because wasn't Andy Reid with the Eagles when Foles was there, or who am I thinking of someone else?
It was I can't remember his name. He was the Oregon's coach back in the days in college when Oregon was dominating back then.
Shoot,
I can't remember what his name was, but he ruined that Eagles. They traded every player. Sean McCoy, they traded him. Nick Foles, they traded him to went to St. Louis. The St. Louis
the
Rams. And he went over there, and then I think he went to another team. I can't remember the other team was. Then he went to the Philadelphia, and now he's with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah.
I still think with the play calling of the Eagles, he would be a better fit than Carson Wentz. That's the thing that people need to understand is the play callings have to match to the player's style.
Right.
That's the way that things that people
need to that's do. What's working out so well for Baltimore because, again, they understand their quarterback, and they're like, we're going to work the system around you, not the other way around.
And they changed it for him.
Yes.
Because Flacco was nothing like...
oh, God, no. Flacco.
Nowhere even close. So what did John Harbaugh do? He changed it. He changed it all over to the way he needs it for Lamar Jackson.
Right. Yeah. So, again, all that being said is, again, I know I just wanted to hear, like I said, if you as a Cowboys fan, like, whether you're frustrated, you're still looking positive, it seems like you're on the up and up because, again, you guys still are, like, atop of the NFC East, like I said. And, again, unless you, like, lose, it would have to be 3 games at this point because I know the Eagles are 1 game, 2 games back from you at this point?
They're 2 games.
Yeah, 2 games back. So, I mean, they'd have to win out everything, and that includes beating you guys, once more. And then, because you guys play each other at Philadelphia, I think is the next matchup.
And which is the last game of our...
it's either like next few weeks or something, but yeah. So either way, it's like their schedule's getting tougher, and like I mean, I'll be honest, I thought the Eagles were going to do a lot better this season, but they're just not getting it done. Same as the Chargers, go figure. But whatever. That's neither here nor there. But all that being said, and I know Sarah's been like gabbing up our ears about the Cowboys right now. So we're again we're gonna go ahead and move on to our Week 13 predictions, and again we will now have Sarah filling in as John's replacement. A lot more beautiful, I will say, than John for our fun little predictions of back and forth, and like who you think what team's gonna win. So, first matchup, John, for me and you to discuss, and we're going to actually cover Thanksgiving games. And that's another reason why I brought you on this podcast, because the Cowboys always play Thanksgiving. But so, the first game of that day is going to be in the morning. We got the Bears versus the Lions.
Ooh.
Who do you think is going to win this one?
If I'm looking at this correctly, the Lions are home, right?
Correct, yeah. So, I always put the home team as the second team listed.
I would choose the Lions if Stanford's playing, or Stafford. If he's playing... I would say the Lions will win just because he is a better quarterback.
Oh yeah, Mitch Trubisky's garbage.
I just don't like that. Defensive wise, the Bears will put up a battle. Yes.
Yeah.
But this is at home. This is Thanksgiving. The Bears, they're just not all they were last year.
Yeah.
Defensive wise, even still defensive wise, they're missing points. I mean, they're missing on the turnovers.
Right.
Like they were last year. I mean, just simple as that. The Bears are not as good as they were.
Yeah.
But offense wise, they're still just not there. But Lions are thinking in their heads, we need to be up there with the Minnesota Vikings and the Packers.
Yeah.
How do we do it? We got to get through the Bears.
Yeah.
So, and in that division, I would probably have to say that's the best division in the league right now.
Yeah. They could easily have 3 teams make the playoffs because
exactly.
Again, you have although you have the Seahawks and the Vikings have their like 8-2, 8-3 records, so they might be taking the wild card spots right now because I know Green Bay's on top, and then you have Green Bay, 49ers, and Saints are like the top 3. I know there's only top 2 seats that'll get the bye week, but just hear me out here. So those teams are all sitting at like 8-2 or 9-1, 9-2, and then you have the other 2 teams. Like I said, the Seahawks and Vikings both have like an 8-2, 8-3 record, and then the Cowboys are holding in charge of their division. So those will that'll be the other spot that gets filled in for the 6 seeds that go from the NFC. But yeah, so it's gonna be tough for any other team to really come out of that division because 2 of them are coming out of the West and 2 of them look like they're coming out of the North. So they really got to turn things around. I don't know if the Lions will make playoffs, but as far as this game goes, I think I'm with you. If Stafford plays, I think he can definitely outplay Trubisky and pick apart the defense because if they're on the field too long, too many offensive turnovers, they're not going to be able to get it done.
If the front line also protects him with that defensive line, that defensive line of the Bears is the best asset. That's the best thing they have a chance of winning any games because of that defensive line.
Right. Sarah, what do you think between Bears and Lions? Who do you think is going to win that matchup?
I think it sounds like one of Aesop's fables that that a bear would be up against a lion in a battle.
Okay.
The lion bringing forth swiftness and fierceness, and the bears bringing forth strength and determination. And I'm not sure how that fable would end, but I think that's what we're looking at here. Although I don't know how much the bears are going to eat for their Thanksgiving meal, but they're preparing for hibernation right now. And I don't know if it's going to work to their strength or to their detriment.
But you got to make a pick here. Who do you think is going to win between the two? Do you think they'll be hibernating? They'll be too tired to play?
Well, they're not hibernating yet. So
But they're getting sleepy.
They're getting sleepy, but they're also nice and big and bulky because they're just stocking up on all their food. So I think I'm going to lean on the Bears on this one.
You're picking the Bears? Okay. All right, and there you have it. All right, our next game, we got the Buffalo Bills versus the Cowboys. Again, we did just say the Cowboys sadly lost to the Patriots. Dang it. But the Bills are also fighting to keep their wild card spot in the AFC. So this is going to be a tough matchup for both teams because they both need to come away with the win. John?
I'm trying not to make this bias.
Right.
I'm going to be straight up honest. I am a Cowboys fan. I'm going to try to make this not as biased as it is.
But you're also a football fan,
I am
so
a football,
we know how to be honest about stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I am going to pick the Cowboys for this
Okay.
one. And here's my reason why.
Okay.
I love Josh Allen. I think he is a good quarterback. He reminds me, not him actually. He doesn't remind me of him actually. That's Sam Donald. But Josh Allen. Just speaking of Josh Allen, he's that kind of quarterback that I love. He has everything built for him. Like
Okay.
he runs the ball with no fear, and I love that in a quarterback. But he has to be careful.
Right. Don't
But
want to take too many
he
bad
has
hits.
also in his arms. He has one of the best, one of the smallest guys that used to play for us in Cole Beasley. Cole Beasley was the one that brought the sauce. The guy is good, and he's doing good with Josh Allen. I thought that was a perfect fit. It hurt me though because he was.
You didn't
good.
want to see him leave as a Cowboy. Yeah.
Because he was a good fit for even Dak Prescott. But he's just good for anybody in general because he has that ability.
Right.
But the thing is that the Bills are lacking is their defense. In my opinion,
You say their defense is lacking.
they're lacking a little bit on their defense. Why? In this equation. That's
Oh, okay. So this matchup.
Yeah, not in generally to the way they play. Their defense is still good.
Okay.
I'm saying that in a jet way, but they're going up against the best offense in the league. Dallas Cowboys is the best offense in the league, just hands down. Most touchdowns, or not most touchdowns, but in the top 5 for touchdowns,
Like yards per game, stuff like
yards
that.
for
Okay.
game, just everything like that. That's what they're winning. So they're just doing phenomenal on that. Defense wise, we're going to have Van Der Esch back, I believe. I hope. I hope because he's a big part of that.
Right, key defensive player.
Defensive player, yeah. So it's just like I said, that defense wise, and this is at home. Now, home field advantage does matter a lot, especially when it comes to Dak Prescott. And we just lost against the New England Patriots. You think we're going to lose to the Bills?
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things where it's like that. I don't like the Cowboys. I mean, I know they did have it was the Saints and Packers, but they lost back to back. But I mean,
Packers, and the Jets.
Yeah. So okay.
But I'm not going to go into depth with the reason why those lost because those I can go on for days. But
right.
Like I said about the Jets already, that was because of the injuries.
Right.
If injuries don't hurt us, which the injury bug has been hurting a lot of people in the NFL this year, we should be fine. But I would definitely have to say that the Cowboys I think Cowboys have this. It's Thanksgiving. They have a good percentage of winning on Thanksgiving. And this is the first time in a long time, if I recall, the Bills played the Cowboys in Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
This is the first time. I can't remember.
I can't remember them playing either. So I think I would still agree. And again, that's not just because I love John. He's a beautiful man. But no, I think the Cowboys could overall. Because again, I think I'll disagree in the sense that I think the Bills' best strength is their defense, but I think the fact that it's the same detriment that the Bears have is you don't have that good of a quarterback on offense. And not saying Allen's been picking it up, so he's been doing better. But when I compare him to Dak Prescott, I think I still give the edge to Dak and that offensive side of the ball, as opposed to Allen facing the defensive side of the Cowboys. So I think that's what's going to be the key to the game. And I think that again the Cowboys will pull out a win at home on Thanksgiving, and they'll be feasting on that turkey leg.
Right.
Sarah, what do you think? Bills and Cowboys.
I think if them playing on Thanksgiving is sort of a tradition that happens every year, then I'm just going to go ahead and root for the metaphorical home team. And just hope that all those Cowboys fans that make a tradition out of watching the game have a happy Thanksgiving.
Aw, what a nice little message. All right, and our night game, another divisional rivalry, is you're going to have the Saints versus the Falcons, and this is at Atlanta. Dude, I wish I could just say the Saints get a win here, but the last time they played at New Orleans, the Falcons upset them horribly. And it's like, I told Luke this, you never underestimate the power of a divisional rival because anything can happen. But what the crap, man. I mean, the Saints, the Falcons just had their number. And what's crazy is the Falcons turn around after beating both the Panthers and the Saints. And then today they just lost to the Buccaneers. And it's just still divisional rivalry, so I guess it still fits within my vein of thought there. But what the heck, man? The Bucs suck. James Winston's a turnover machine. You guys still lost to him. It was 35-22.
I guess he ate that W really bad.
Yeah, we're going to get that W. Sucking his fingers. Oh, gosh. But, so what do you think? Saints-Falcons, do you think the Saints will fix their mistakes from last game, or do you think the Falcons get another upset here?
I'm still going to say the Saints are going to win.
Okay.
But here's my butt issue of this. I'm agreeing with you on this.
Big butt.
Yeah, it's a big butt. It's the Falcons. The Falcons are a team that's do they want to win or do they not? Mm-hmm. Do they want to win this game? That's the question. They have the assets to do it. They have the team to win a game, but the problem is can they? Mm-hmm. This is at home. That's the only advantage. I would say the Falcons can win. Mm-hmm. Again, like I said, home field advantage always has the biggest percentage.
Right.
Only reason why is for that. But this is Saints team. This is Drew Brees.
Yes.
Drew Brees is going up. The best in the league. He's my favorite quarterback in the league as we speak. Mm-hmm. I honestly still will give the Saints the W with this. I don't see them losing twice to a division, but it could happen. I just don't think that Matt Ryan's going to pull off victory over it, because this is not the same Falcons team that was last year that did this.
Yeah, not
year.
at all.
This is I can't even explain to you what's up with this team.
And again, I remember talking to Luke about our preseason predictions and everything. I thought, if anything, this division with the Carolina Panthers, the Falcons, and the Saints, that would be the division that has three teams going to the wild card, but to the playoffs in general. Because
I would say they would have taken second in their division. I honestly believe that the Drew Brees Saints will make it to the number one.
Yeah.
I knew Carolina would be a flop because of the situation with Cam Newton.
Right.
Cam Newton is old, washed, has been. Never really was been, actually, in my opinion. But that's another topic. But I would assume that, like I said, they would have taken second. But it's been one of those weird roller coaster rides for the Falcons.
Oh yeah. All right. What do you think, Sarah? Saints, Falcons.
I think if they're playing on the Falcons on
Falcons.
the Falcons' home turf, I think it's going to entirely depend on how the weather is in Arizona that day.
Arizona, Atlanta.
Who's the Arizona team?
Cardinals.
Okay.
Another bird, but yeah.
And they're both actually in the dome, so it really doesn't matter. The rains or sunshine.
Well, I just mean the general, the weather either way.
Okay.
So I'm going to say it entirely depends on the weather.
So if the weather's good, who do you pick? If the weather's bad, who do you pick?
I think if the weather's really good and really warm, then I'm going to say it's going to be the Falcons. And if the weather is cold, then it's going to be the Saints.
Okay. Great.
I gotta look at the weather right now.
All right, so moving on.
The alignment of the stars also comes into play, but I won't get into that.
Okay, getting real elaborate here. All right, so next game we have Titans versus Colts. Divisional rivalry. Both of these teams are going to be fighting to try to claim that last wild card spot. As it stands right now, I believe in the AFC, the Bills will definitely take one of those wild card spots. They won't take division because obviously they're with the Patriots. But yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of teams vying for like a 9-7 or possibly 10-6 record to take that last 6th seed spot. So who do you think gets it? Titans versus Colts.
This one's actually pretty hard. This is actually probably going to have to be the hardest decision right now. Actually, no, this is not the hardest one. I just need another one.
Yeah.
But Titans and Colts, I can see the Titans pulling this off.
Okay.
I can. After the Colts lost to the Texans on Thursday,
right.
I watched a lot of flaws that they had. Titans actually done a lot of good job to their...
yeah, they've been bouncing back pretty good.
Even though I don't like the Tannehill thing, I think that they disrespected
Mariota
in that way. I just think that was a bad move that they did, disrespectful to that man. That man did a lot for that team.
Right.
So I feel the disrespect. But I'm still going to probably have to say I picked the Titans to pull this an upset here. I think this is going to be an upset on the Colts because, again, home field advantage.
Yeah. Man, I don't know. I think I might go with the Colts, but a slight favor, like a 51% to 49. Like I don't. It's like I want them to do good. Again, Jacoby Brissett's been filling in for Andrew Luck, and not that he's been Andrew Luck level, but he's still been good enough to get the team to where they are now and fight for their spots. I know that the loss last week to the Texans was very hard, but I don't know. I think they can. I don't know if they're a team that I want to say was going to have 2 losses back to back, like especially against a divisional rival. And not to be underestimated, but I think the Colts will get the win here. That's where I'm putting my stock in on this one. Sarah, what do you think? Titans versus Colts.
Well, I think both these teams are coming off of having an inflated ego. They're just riding on that inflated ego caused by movies that have been about their teams.
Remember the Titans and what was the Colts one?
Spirit Stein of the Cimarron.
Oh my gosh. Oh boy.
But I think that the Colts still have a little bit more to prove, so I think they're going to come in with a stronger game.
All right. Next game we have, this one is, oh man, I almost wish they would have flexed this to a night game. 49ers versus the Ravens. That is the number 1 seed versus the number 2 seed. And I think I'm going to give the edge to the Ravens because they're in Baltimore for this game. And Lamar Jackson's just playing out of his mind. So
I will have to say, gosh dang, it's a home field advantage again. I don't know, man. It's so hard because the Niners are the team that I said that they're going to go to the Super Bowl and they're going to win their division.
Can I interest you in Jimmy G having a lot of turnovers, though?
Yes. No. You can. Because, but I'm going to say this about the Ravens defense. They're not a turnover defense. It's like the Dallas Cowboys. Their defense reminds me a lot
about the
Cowboys.
They're good at stopping, but they don't get a lot of turnovers.
They're not turnovers.
Yeah.
So does that really matter, per se? I don't know. I mean, if it was the Niners versus the Patriots, I would have probably had to say the Patriots, just because their defense is good at turnovers.
Right, and that's what gets a lot of crucial yardage.
But I would have to say I can see an upset going on with the Niners. I can see them pulling off the Ravens win, but the Ravens are on a high, so I'm still going to take the 49ers on this one. I'm going to take the underdog on this one.
All right. Sarah, what do you think? 49ers versus the Ravens.
You can definitely interest me in Jimmy G's turnovers as long as they're topped with ice cream.
I friggin' knew it. Well, if they're not topped with ice cream, who gets the win here?
Oh, I mean, Ravens are nocturnal, no? So if it's a night game, it's got to go to them.
Okay. I think it's a morning game, though.
You said it was a night game.
I said I wish it got flexed to the night game.
Oh, well, then it can't be the Ravens, then. They're going to be sleepy.
See?
All right, so we got 2 for the 49ers. I'm flying solo on this one. All right. Next game, Browns versus Steelers. What makes this one interesting? Same thing. They're both trying to stay in contention for that last wild card spot. And especially after that Thursday night fiasco with Myles Garrett and the helmet hit, there's going to be some bad blood on this field. So what do you think, John? Steelers home field, do you think they'll get the advantage, or do you think the Browns get another upset win over them?
Who won? Browns won?
The Browns won last time. It was 21-7. And now it's going to be the Browns visiting the Steelers in Pittsburgh.
I could still see them winning just because the Browns are another. It's like a Falcons, but better Falcons team.
Right.
Better than that.
Yeah, they definitely have a more balanced record for sure.
Yeah, so they're another wishy-washy roller coaster ride. They just beat who they played.
They played today the Dolphins. It was like 41-20 something.
And I know it was Miami Dolphins. I know they're like.
They're bad.
They're trash. They're the trash of the NFL right now.
Yeah.
But the Browns,
there's the Bengals that still have defeated. They haven't got one win yet.
Oh, really? I forgot about them. That's how bad they are, because I just totally forgot about the Bengals. I'm still going to say the Browns on this one, just because, one, I actually hate the Steelers more than a passion in me. I hate them so much. But I'm trying to make this bias as best I can, but I still going to pick the Browns just because I still believe in their little 4 triplet, or the 4 people they have on their team.
Chubb, Baker, and then Landry and Odell.
Odell, correct.
Okay.
I still believe in them.
Right.
So I'm going to pick with the Browns with this one.
Yeah, I think I'll side with you on that. I know the Steelers today, they even benched Mason Rudolph, and they put in the 3rd-string quarterback. So I think the Browns will definitely have a field day with him, because their defense they're not the best by any means, but they're still
average.
good. They're still good. I think they'll be able to get after him and put pressure on him.
Yeah, they're an average. I want to say this. They can win a Super Bowl with that defense. That's what I'm going to say. Not saying that their offense is good enough to win a Super Bowl. They will never go to the Super Bowl with that team setup. But they can win a Super Bowl with that average defense. It's just average. If they have a good offense. And if the NFC was just trash.
Right. All right, what do you say, Sarah?
I think as long as everyone can keep their helmets on and avoid smashing each other with them, then everybody wins.
Okay.
I'll take that side.
All right, so between the two teams, we need decisive picks here. I gotta preface this. We gotta make sure that you have a clear pick on who you think is gonna win.
Steelers.
Picking the Steelers? Okay. Any other reason just by them playing?
No,
nice?
you told me to pick one.
Okay.
Steelers.
All right, moving on. We got a few more games here, so please just stay with us. We're almost over. Raiders versus Chiefs. I think this one's an easy Chiefs win because the Chiefs already beat them in Oakland, and as much as I was putting stock in the Raiders to take that last wild card seed, but they got destroyed by the Jets, 34-3. And the Jets, I mean, I know you said they were a good team, but I mean, they're not good this season. They're at a 3-7 record, whatever the heck it is.
By any means, I want to rephrase what I said. I'm not saying that the Jets are a good team.
Right.
They're a good up and coming team. But the Raiders, I'm sorry, they're a team that's like, oh god, I don't know.
They got, like I said, they got thrashed. I can't put stock in them beating the Chiefs at Arrowhead. It's just not in my book.
No, I will have to agree. This is at Arrowhead. Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes is going to have a field day with him. This team. This defense is. I mean, don't get me wrong. This Raiders team does scare me for the future. They have the best rookie class.
Oh, Jacobs is a beast.
Of all time, in my opinion. They really do. So I can see the future coming very bright if they don't mess it up.
Yes.
Which the Raiders always mess it up. And I'm talking about in their high office ownership situation.
Right. Bowl cut, man.
Always mess up on this. But I will pick the Chiefs on this for the win right here.
Sarah, Raiders versus Chiefs.
I was raised in a home that had very strong values against saying good things about the Raiders. So it's going to be the Chiefs.
All right, we got an agreement on that one. Everyone's picking Chiefs. All right, Patriots versus Texans. Now, I know on paper this could seem like an easy win for the Patriots. However, and I'm pretty sure the last handful of matchups that these teams have had since Deshaun Watson entered the league, there's always a shootout because, like I said, I think I told you this, John, Bill Belichick had a hard enough time guarding Lamar Jackson, and when you get a mobile quarterback who can also throw the ball down the field, same as Deshaun Watson, it's going to be a shootout, and I think it'll come down to whoever has the ball last. I'll give a slight edge to the Patriots, again, another 51% to 49%. If Deshaun Watson gets the win, I would not be surprised, though. That team,
this is where's the hard part about this one. I'm thinking it's going to be a blowout.
A blowout win.
But the Patriots. I feel I don't feel the Texans have been really all that solid all around.
Defensive, no.
Just generally of the games they play. Watson is not Lamar Jackson. I never thought Lamar Jackson would ever be the way he is. No, I did not think that.
Yeah, his second year,
he's doing phenomenal. So, but I would say that defense is going to come out strong. They're ready to come out, and they're gonna have at least probably maybe 2 or 3 turnovers.
Right.
I will have to say that it's going to come down to the defense just winning this game, and that's what's going to make it a blowout.
Okay.
That depends on exactly if the Patriots are going to. Even though I don't want the Patriots to win, I want the Texans to win. I just feel like it's going to be a blowout. You know what? I'm going to actually probably put the score on here. I'm going to put it 28-14.
28-14? Okay. All right. Yeah. What do you think, Sarah? Patriots versus Texans.
I think with this one, it really comes down to which team is more likely to give the other team a giant apple pie that's been laced with laxatives. And I think you already have a sense of this with terms like a blowout and and I think it's really, really clear that the Patriots are the ones more likely to do that to the Texans than the other way around.
Just feed them Taco Bell.
Oh my gosh.
I think the Patriots are going to take this one either by force or by laxative-laced apple pie.
Yikes. All right. Congratulations, America, for that one. All right. And our last matchup, like I've been talking about, hyping these two teams, Vikings versus Seahawks. I think this is definitely the one to watch out for because I think it's going to be a great I think it'll be a high-scoring game. The defenses will still perform well, but I think both teams could easily hit 30 points.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So between the two, I believe this is in Seattle. Who do you think gets the win, Vikings and Seahawks?
I'm going to go with Vikings.
You going to go with the Vikings?
I am going to go with the Vikings. I don't think the Seahawks have a defense.
Yeah, that's what
At least the Vikings have a defense.
Yes.
Yes, it's been one of those defenses like, are they going to be good or not, or they're not? Yet, they went up against the Cowboys. They almost lost to the Cowboys. If it wasn't for the coaching on that fault.
Right.
That's my opinion on that one. But they almost lost to them because of their defense was lacking on against the best offensive game. And so that was the biggest fault on that.
Okay.
But the Seahawks don't have a defense. They have no defense whatsoever to be able to stop Stephon Diggs or...
I think Thielen will come back, too, for this game.
Yeah.
Or if he's not already back.
Yeah, and the only problem I would see being a fault, and it wasn't a fault when he played against the Cowboys, was Kirk Cousins on primetime. Kirk Cousins still sucks at primetime. It's just simple as that.
Uh-huh.
But I still think the Vikings going to pull off an upset here, even though Seattle is the favorite to win in this. I a good percentage, or a decent percentage for that. I thought I didn't think it was going to be that close. I think it may be close. I think it may be like 2 to 3%. No, I believe they are having them like 10 or somewhere roughly around there. That's a lot, in my opinion, against two teams who are in the playoffs and wild card position.
Yeah, and I think both these teams will take the respective 5th and 6th seed. So again, it's like if you're any other team in the NFC hunting for a wild card spot. Like, you better step your game up and just win out, because I don't see any way that these two teams are stopping, because they're both, like I said, 8-2, 8-3, whatever the heck the record is. So they're barely underneath the top 1 and 2 seeds as it is. It's just the only reason why they don't have their top spot is because they're competing against the 49ers and the Packers. And again, those teams only have 1 or 2 losses apiece, and the head-to-head matchup they have the wins. So it's like, again, I think it will come down to a high-scoring game. Whoever's defense can step up. But like you said, I'm definitely siding with the Vikings on this. I think the score will be, I'm going to say 34-31. That's what I think is going to be the end with the Vikings winning.
I will agree with that on that one.
Sarah, last prediction. Vikings.
I just hope
Seahawks.
both teams have fun.
No. You don't get to do that.
And that everyone scores 30 points
Stop
and
it.
everyone's mom watches the game.
No.
Also, that's another thing. Depends on the weather, too.
Yeah, if it's raining.
If I recall, we were supposed to have a rainstorm literally roughly around that time period. So, and it is in Seattle.
Yes.
So
Seattle rains like 300 days a year.
Exactly. So it depends on that, because I don't know how Kirk Cousins actually really does that well in the rain. So it depends on how the high scoring will come down to it. I mean, look at the game against Dallas Cowboys versus the Patriots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was a lot of rain there. So what's your pick, Sarah? I'm not letting you scapegoat this one.
Well, then I'll just go with the Vikings because that's what you guys said.
All right, what a great lively discussion here to end out our sports category, but that is also going to end out the episode. So once again, I want to thank my hosts Sarah and John for joining me today, and wish Luke and John their safe travels wherever they're at, and that they're having a good night. But to you listeners at home, wherever you're at, I just want to say we love you. And you know what? The phrase of the week is going to be
Happy Thanksgiving.
That's too easy. No, I want it to be, will you be my neighbor? Is that fine? Since we talked about Mr. Rogers and how just impactful he was, nostalgic.
Why would you be my giving?
Be my giving. Yeah. So, won't you be my neighbor? Find John or Luke and spam them with those messages, and they will give you some kind of peanut of some kind. I don't know if it'll be peanut butter.
It'll be one of those gross circus peanut marshmallows.
Oh, gross, man. Maybe you don't want to say the phrase of the week. All right. Well, you know what? Hopefully, you guys will tune in next week. Hope you had a good time listening to this episode. All right. We love you and goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.